What's up, y'all? Thank you for tuning in. Today, Rumors is down with special guest
Xray, Houston, Texas.
First, let me say thank you for even accepting, the interview and, being on the app. That means a lot to us. We really appreciate it.
Definitely have to support.
So we're going to jump right into it. This first segment is called Finish the Sentence. All right. So I'm just going to give you a sentence. All you got to do is finish it. All right. So the first one is, sometimes I look back at my life and
I wish I knew what I know now.
Interesting. I'm inspired when
I see other successful Black people.
I feel comfortable around people who
can make me laugh.
Nice. Great answers. Great answers. All right. So if you could just give us a little background, like how did you even get started tattooing, and what made you want to commit to being a tattoo artist?
So I've been tattooing for going on 7 years now. Originally, I never planned on being a tattoo artist. It wasn't something that was in my mind. Like, I always would draw, and I would always get in trouble for drawing and stuff, coming home and have drawings on my homework and all of that. But when I was in college, my cousin ended up passing away, who was a tattoo artist.
Wow.
And from that time on, it's like everything at that moment, I lost my job. So I was trying to pay for rent, and I have to pay for tuition out of my own pocket. And,
wow.
Along with him passing away, it was just, everything was kind of like falling. And then at that same time, I had a friend that worked the front desk at a shop. And she was, hey, I'll talk to the owner and see if, they'll let you in on an apprenticeship. So I went in, he had me draw this Virgin Mary type of thing. And he was like, yeah, come back tomorrow and we'll start.
Wow.
So from there on, I just kind of picked up the machine, and I've been going from there. And it's like, I've seen so many like successful artists, and like Ace No Boogie, Maya Bailey, Miss Jackie from New Orleans, like so many artists, and they've succeeded. I was like, well, I want to be like that.
Wow.
So that, along with being very competitive with the people around me, just kind of pushed me. And now it's just something that, that's my career at this point.
That's beautiful. What made you want to get your own like private studio? Were you always operating?
Well, no. When COVID hit, the shop that I was at was in the same town. I've been at the same like town for the past 6 years.
Okay.
So once I was done with school, I was just kind of stuck out there. And I knew that being in a small town, I can't push myself as much as I would like, because college students really don't want that, big extravagant work. They want the little stuff. They want quick, maybe an hour-long tattoo.
Right.
But it's real repetitive. So when COVID hit and the shops had to shut down, I moved back to Houston.
Okay. I got you.
Houston, I just kind of, went and said, you know what, let me just get a private studio for now, and then I'll work to open up, have other people working with me and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. So in your opinion, since you started tattooing, how has the tattoo industry changed?
Oof. It's changed. Oh, that's a tough question, because it goes in both directions, because, it's changed for the positive, and then you've seen some negative things go on at the same time. So as far as right now, especially with Black artists, I think a lot more, it's been a lot more communication along with Black artists, because I know when I first started, it was harder to get in contact with certain artists and just, talk to them and stuff like that. And it's like, now it's so much easier for me to reach out to another artist just to have a casual conversation with them and, connect with them as far as an artist. And that alone has been real helpful. Like, very.
Well, and so what would you like to see more of? You want to see more like communication between the artists?
I would love to see an all black convention. That is what I would love to see.
Okay.
I have an artist that I'm really good friends with named Oba Jackson, and I've been telling him a long time, like, look, there should be a all black tattoo convention just for us, and like host it in Atlanta or somewhere where it's,
For sure.
black art. Yeah.
For sure. No, that's something we were talking about that last week. We actually posted and we said, like, should we,
Right.
Host our own tattoo convention? And everyone said yes. We have so much, we had so much feedback. And so, I would love to work with different artists on like putting that whole thing together. So, okay, let's talk about your clients. When a client comes to you with an idea, do any of those ideas inspire you? Like which of those ideas inspire you, if any?
Typically I try to be different. So I have my own kind of way of, it's just like any other artist, when you hear what they want without them showing you a reference, an image pops up in your head. So
Gotcha.
if you tell me something and it just automatically pops up with the whole full detail inside of my head, that excites me, because now I know that, I can take this and I can put it on skin. In comparison to, references are great, but a lot of people come in and they're like, oh, well, I want it just like that. And it's kind of like, it's not, with my clientele being majority, darker skin tones and stuff like that. A lot of the tattoos they show me are, of course, on the internet, you're going to find on Pinterest and stuff, is going to be mostly like white skin and stuff like that. So, me telling them like, hey, I can't do it exactly like that, but I have my own way of putting this color into your skin, and I give you my variation of it.
Okay. Did you always know how to tattoo darker skin tones? Like, did you start out tattooing darker skin tones? Like, how did you come about even specializing or having experience with that?
Well, I mean, I haven't done, starting off, I didn't do a lot of like color and stuff on darker skin. And when I was doing it, it wasn't, when I see it healed, it wasn't healing the right way. So I reached out to an artist named Kirkwood. He's the owner of Elfam Life in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
And real humble guy, real cool guy, been tattooing forever. And I just kind of asked him, I was like, hey, like, what colors do you use when you tattoo skin tones and stuff? And he was like so nice that he literally sent me his list of all the colors he used and like names and all of that. Like, he sent me to tattoo, color on darker skin. And from that day on, like, I've been using that's been my blueprint. And then I stretched out from that, and I've done my own research and stuff. And I start to understand, how to put color in, even the colors that people say, oh, well, you can't get that color. And, when it heals up, it's not going to heal up right. He showed me that, the biggest mistake is using one color on a darker skin tone. Blue, like me personally, I've got to the point to where if I'm using a blue, I'm using 3 tones of blue to make, one blue stand out.
Wow. It's crazy because that just you being educated by one artist shifted, probably like has so much of an impact on you as an artist. And so it would be great to see more artists educating other artists.
Right.
The
best thing about it is he didn't actually, like, there was no, oh, well, you have to pay me this much for this. You have to pay me this much so I can tell you this. Because I've reached out to certain artists and they say, oh, well, it's going to be $150 for you to talk to me for an hour.
Wow.
So
wow.
He was just like, oh, yeah, you're young in the game. Here's my cheat sheet. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And, to this day, I still talk to him and stuff all the time. So
wow.
The great, he's one of those artists that we need more people like him.
For sure. When you're tattooing a client, how do you get into the zone? Do you listen to music? Do you put on a movie? Like, what is it that gets you in your zone while tattooing? Or is it nothing? You just
it depends
go in.
It depends on the actual client. While we're doing the paperwork and setting up and doing all that stuff, if we're sitting there joking back and forth and vibing and stuff like that, I'll put music on, but it's mostly we're sitting there talking while I'm tattooing. So we're sitting there joking and laughing while the tattoo's going on. If it's more of a client that's more nervous, or maybe they're just not a talkative person, I'll put on some music and, you know, I'll get into my vibe and stuff, but I'll still try to sit there and talk to them. And, you know, so it just really depends on the vibes I'm getting. If I'm getting the, let's sit around and joke, I've been knowing you forever type of vibe, we're going to sit there and talk all the time.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Like, how do you feel knowing that people are walking around with your artwork? Does that make you feel a certain way?
I mean,
or is it, you know, I just wonder because I'm interviewing you from a client's perspective, like.
Right. I personally, the fact that you chose, especially in Houston is like oversaturated with people that tattoo, both in a studio and the ones that are just like, you know, out the garage type stuff.
I got you.
You know, having someone walk around with like my personal art that I've designed is like, you know, that's my walking advertisement right there. So I have to like make sure it's the top of the, you know, the best that I can do. So I'm happy when my clients are just like posting on Instagram, like, oh, shout out to my artists. And so that they're, you know, that the fact that they're happy with it, I'm happy with it. And anytime I get to actually put my personal artwork on people, like I'm automatically just psyched about it, really.
Okay. So what would you say is the most meaningful tattoo you've ever done?
Oof, I've never been asked that one before.
Take your time. It's all good.
Okay, so I had a older white lady. She came in for her first tattoo, and she had 3 flowers that represented her siblings, and then within the flower she wanted me to put the zodiac sign of her kids, and on one specific flower she wanted like specific colors, and the colors represented like everybody that was in the family. At the end of the tattoo, she told me that, you know, she was the only one that she didn't put, like, she didn't have a representation for herself because everyone else on her arm had passed away.
Wow.
So that kind of hit me because, you know, since I've been tattooing, it's like every year I've lost a family member. So when she came in with that, like that kind of hit me too.
Yeah. Wow.
So that one was, yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. Oh my goodness.
Oh, right.
You just hit me with that. So would you say that's the most touching experience you've ever had? Like, you know, have you ever sat down and like cry with a client, or you just really like felt her, you know?
So with her, that was the closest I've like, I was almost there.
You're almost there?
Yeah, I was almost at that point.
Wow. So part of our mission is to promote the importance of self-love. How do you, you know, make time for yourself? You know, how do you cater to yourself as a tattoo artist?
I really, as much as I should, I don't think I do enough, and I think that's a problem for me, because, you know, talking to other people, they say, hey, X, you need to go get a massage, go get, you know, take your time out to go to the chiropractor, let them readjust you, and just have a day to do whatever you need to. So with me, it's more of, I try to, you know, take a day off every week and go play basketball, go fish, sit at the house and do absolutely nothing, turn my phone off, just something where I can just step away from work, because I've invested so much into my craft and what I do and everything. So, I mean, my me time is just either doing nothing, playing basketball, or going fishing. That's
That's cool though. That's cool. So how good are you at basketball? Because I used to play in college.
I mean,
you just play around, or, you know, you're really out there?
I'm not as good as I used to be. Not as good as I used to be. Let's say that.
Okay.
You know, tattooing stuff has slowed my because at one point I was just lazy for a stretch of a year. So that kind of like
Okay.
as good as I used to be, I'm not, but I'll still get out there and I'll still get out there and get with people. So
Okay. Okay.
look, I can't dunk anymore, so that's one thing.
Are you sure you ever knew how to dunk, or you just
yeah. I actually tried to jump the other day and my knees was like, nah.
I feel you. You're getting old. Okay, so and let me know if this is too personal, but do you ever struggle mentally? And if so, like, how do you overcome those mental struggles?
I think personally, I think I may have a touch of anxiety, and people have been telling me that from a lot of things that I've been like talking to people. And I mean, I think I'm one of those people that I try to get over things myself. Like I really don't reach out for help.
Mhm.
And that comes from being the way that I've been raised. A lot of, the same way a lot of Black men have been raised,
Mhm.
you deal with things by yourself, you deal with things alone. And I think that, I've had anxiety attacks. I just don't know it, and I've recently, I think I've had one, and someone was like, X, I think, you have anxiety. You should, go and see, because I don't believe in like taking pills and all the other stuff for that stuff.
Yeah.
I just try to find, personally, I just try to find like something to root myself in, which is why I fish, because it's calming to me.
Mhm.
I don't even eat fish, so I just do it for the sport of it.
I got you.
So it's like little things like that, and that's why I started like taking a step away from doing anything on like certain days. Like today is my off day technically,
Okay.
so I don't answer any emails or messages or anything like that, and I just kind of have my me time. So that kind of helps me reset and calm down, because I have been like hospitalized and stuff for they didn't even know what it was. They said it's pericarditis, which is like the inflammation around the heart from stress and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I definitely try to like step back and deal with things on my own, but at the same time, I don't know. It's just weird. It's different. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, it's complicated for sure. But it's great that you have an outlet. You take a day off, you go fishing, or you play basketball. Like, I think those are all things that'll help, that help you process things.
Right.
That makes sense. Okay, so in your opinion, what do you think the Black community needs to do to obtain wealth, to get to the point of wealth?
I think what I see a lot is that a lot of Black people feel like they're in competition with each other instead of helping each other or coming together. If everyone's doing the same thing and we split the cost of things, then we can. That's one big issue. And then at the same time, a lot of times people don't understand supply and demand when it comes to certain products with Black people, and they'd rather spend $4 or $5 less at the people that's getting the product for more than half the cost than actually spending the money with the Black people. They're not understanding that, oh, well, these people are getting this product for $100 a box while we're spending $200 a box, and they're charging around the same price and they're making more profit. So
that is so true.
That
is so true.
I've seen it a lot where people will go and they'll be like, oh, I can just go get this from, the beauty supply around the store for $3 less, when they're paying, a whole like $10 less to get all of that stuff, but we're paying
Absolutely.
more. So that's what we have to do more of, and we definitely have to stop down on each other. That's another thing, because that all goes along with, oh, well, I can go to this person over here and get it done for cheaper, And my response is always, but it's gonna be better.
Mm-hmm. For sure, for sure. All right. So what tips do you have for any future clients seeking a tattoo?
As far as
Just like if someone's getting their first tattoo, like what tips do you have to give them if they're looking for an artist or anything, really?
always look at the portfolio. Always. That's the main issue with a lot of people. Like any client that's coming in and trying to get a tattoo, a lot of time people go into a studio and they assume that everyone in there is on the same level of tattooing, when in reality you have some artists that are great with portraits but suck at line work, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll go into a artist that only does lettering and stuff and expect a portrait, and then you end up with a whole nother person on your arm. So so it's like, check the port. That's like the number one thing with me is check the portfolio, because personally, I don't do like family portraits because that's like extremely like personal to me.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give you a portrait of someone and have one little detail off and it's not that person anymore. So that's like the most pressure that you can put on me, is telling me to do a portrait of a family member.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just say, you know what, I'm gonna stay away from that. I'm gonna let everybody else have it that's good at it. I'm gonna do my own.
Yeah, like we can respect that though, just the honesty.
Yeah.
Honesty. So okay, what do you have any tips for any future or any like anyone who's thinking about being a tattoo artist or any up and coming tattoo artist?
The best thing I can say is don't be fooled by social media and the media. Tattooing is not something where you're gonna start tattooing and you're gonna be making $100,000 a year type stuff. If you really want to be a tattoo artist, it's gonna be a struggle. There are gonna be times where you go, a week without tattooing. There may go times where you go like a whole 2 weeks, month without tattooing, because it's not something that people need. It's something that people want. And if they just want it, a lot of times they're going to go with a cheaper price compared to the better tattoo.
Right.
So definitely get any kind of education on tattoo that you can. I know apprenticeships are hard to come by, stuff like that, but at the same time, go to school. Like I went to school for graphic design and computer animation, and that helped me a lot with so many different things. Work on fundamentals, line work on the basics of shading, and that all stuff can be done with a pen and pencil. You can get better with just using those two things and putting it to paper. Just as an artist, if you really want to be an actual artist and not just somebody that tattoos, actually put in that time and that effort with your personal artwork before you try to put it on somebody's skin.
Okay. And what kind of impact would you like to have on the Black community or just the tattoo industry itself?
With me, as far as like with the industry, I just it's such a big industry that I'm just here, and that's not the most important thing with me. Is like having a major impact on the industry alone. It's more of like my community for me. So right now I'm working on opening up a whole, a storefront, and that I plan on doing different things as far as like scholarships for like my for my old high school and stuff like that, because it's my old high school was a magnet school and stuff, and we didn't have that much catered to actual art. Like we're performing art school, but the art itself, as far as painting and drawing and stuff, we didn't have much to do with that. So I would like to do like scholarship things for my high school and for the district. I would like to do scholarship things for like my university, and as far as the community, just have like different events catered for my community. Like Kirkwood in Louisiana, he every Sunday he does Takes a Village, where he feeds the homeless. So it's like little stuff like that is what I want to do, but more for my community than it is for like the industry. That'll come along with it.
No, that's super dope. That's where it starts, your own community.
Yeah.
You know, you can create events on the app, right? It can be free. You can create online events. You can create like, you know, tattoo artists are the only ones on the app who can create any sort of event. So it doesn't have to be tattoo related. It could be, you know, art related or whatever it is. I think we love to see, you know, more events from our artists.
Definitely, definitely.
And okay, so let people know where they can find you.
Okay, so you can get at me on Instagram. My Instagram name is tattoos by _ Xray. Of course, on the Rumour app. And I also, do I have anything else? I'm trying to do so much with social media right now.
I got you.
I just brought back my Twitter after deleting it a while ago.
Okay.
So it's Art by Xray on Twitter. But yeah, I think that's all my platforms.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us. That was a great interview, and thank you for being open.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, we'll talk soon.
Definitely.